Preseason college football playoff predictions. This day is always fun. This day is always fun because you either ruffle someone's feathers or you give someone just insane amount of hope. And I just love the happy medium between there because, just college football fandoms, college football fans in general are amazing, and I love you guys. College football fans, rejoice. You made it through yet another offseason. We have college football this upcoming month. So to celebrate this occasion, why not go out and get some brand new college football merch? I'm teaming up with Roback, the gold standard of what college football looks and feels like. They have over 78 different teams, so your team's bound to be in there. Polos, quarter zips, sweatshirts, whatever your heart desires. But use code ZAK20, that's ZAK20, for 20% off for all new customers through the end of the week. Again, that's at roback.com, RHOBACK.com, and use code ZAK20 for 20% off all performance apparel. I appreciate you guys. Before we get into the video today, if you haven't already, do not forget to subscribe to the channel, like the video, leave a comment too. I want to hear your thoughts on my picks here because in December, we'll go back to this video here and be like, hey, maybe we were like 50%. That was kind of close. But get into the video today. Go ahead and throw the bracket up right now. These are the teams that we have. Starting off with number 1, Georgia. I'm really high on this Georgia team this year. And the sole reason is their quarterback, Gunnar Stockton. I love this kid. I think he's a Heisman caliber kind of guy. It wouldn't surprise me if he did win the Heisman. And he's one of those guys. He's scrappy. He commands the offense. Are his throws perfect all the time? No, not by any means. Does he need to change the way he plays to win a national championship? No, I don't think he needs to change the way he plays. I just think he needs to be more consistent. Just get the ball out and run the ball. That's what this Georgia team needs to do. They also have Nate Frazier coming back, a stud running back, and also Drew Bobo at center, who's going to set the standard for that offensive line. So really excited for that Georgia offense. And then looking at the defense, just going to be improved from last year. A lot of young guys playing last year. Don't really know, hey, assignment-wise, thinking instead of playing. A lot more playing instead of thinking this upcoming year for Georgia. So I'm really excited for them, but they're at the 1 spot, SEC champions. Moving on to number 2, I got the Oregon Ducks as your Big Ten champions. A lot of people are high on this team, and it's warranted because when you look at this team, probably one of the most talented rosters in all of college football, and they also fall under that category. A lot of teams out there do, but they are probably number 1 of, if not now, when. Like if you don't win a national championship now, when are you going to do it? Because this roster is unbelievable. Obviously, they have Dante Moore coming back, which is a huge addition. Should have been an NFL first-round draft pick last year, but decided to stay another year. Davison and Hill at running back, two-headed monster there. You got to love them. Jamari Johnson at tight end. A little bit lower than, like a different play style than Sadiq, but still a traditional tight end, kind of a bigger guy. Still incredibly athletic. And then the skill guys on the outside, DeCorian Moore coming back for year 2, and then Evan Stewart had a great spring as well. And then on the flip side, defensively, probably more impressive than your offense. Your defensive line is probably the best in the entire country. And then also a pretty solid linebacker core. And the secondary is really where you shine as well, with additions of Coy Perch from Minnesota. I really like this Oregon team. I think in the regular season, they're going to be tested. They play at Ohio State, at USC. There's some sneaky good ones in there. But I think this Oregon team is up for the challenge. They're going to make a run in the playoff this upcoming year. And then number 3, Miami Hurricanes, and for the first time ever, Miami is ACC champions. And I got to say, before we get into it a little bit more, early in the offseason, I was a little bit skeptical about this Miami team going into this year. I was like, I don't know about Darian Mensah. I don't know about Cooper Barcade. Like, will that Duke magic transfer over to Miami when they play these Ohio State, Georgia, Notre Dames? I thought that was a valid argument there. And I watched clips of them in practice against a very good Miami defense, which I got to say is like on par with the Georgia, Ohio State, Notre Dame defenses, and they were lighting it up. So not only was I wrong, and I admitted it, we had a video on that. I was wrong. I'm really high on this Miami team this upcoming year, and I think the fact that they will kind of cruise through their schedule, they play a few hard games that are especially towards the latter end of the year, so they're going to be getting hot when they need to be hot, just like last playoff. They went through everyone, A&M, Ohio State, Ole Miss, just, were hot when they needed to be hot. I think Miami, catches heat again, and they have a deep run in the playoff. And then 4, I got the runner-up in the SEC championship game. I got Oklahoma. A lot of people don't like Oklahoma this year. A lot of people say they can't run the ball. Oh, no, they're like super hard schedule. What I'd say to that is, okay, well, let's watch the spring game. A lot of explosive plays on the ground. And also, I'd argue that their schedule this year is easier when you compare to last year. And take a look at last year when they did have a harder schedule. They still went 10-2 and made the playoff. And then, yes, they were a first-round exit, but I'd argue that this upcoming year, this upcoming season, this Oklahoma team's better. They brought in portal additions like Parker Livingstone. John Mateer has improved tremendously. You know, you have the whole new throwing motion, which I know a lot of people are like, oh, does it really matter? It's like, well, maybe. You can get the ball out faster. You got more people to throw to than just Statenya. So that's huge. I really hope that run game really gets going. And I saw it in the spring game. Like I said, a lot of explosive plays on the ground. And we know that Brent Venables' defense is going to be great. So I think they win Red River. I think that's going to be a grind. It is a grind of a schedule, like I said, but I think they're capable of going far. They're capable of being that 4 spot. Moving on here, and I won't go as in depth, but at 5, I got Ohio State. They're just a little bit lower just because of how hard their schedule is. I think they may drop a few, be 10-2, 11-1, but losing in the Big Ten championship, kind of setting that fire to make a run in the playoff for Ohio State. Number 6, I got Notre Dame. They're obviously going to make the playoff, right? They got the Notre Dame rule where if they're in the top 12, they make the playoff. They don't really play anyone other than Miami and BYU. When you look at their schedule, you're like, really? So Notre Dame's going to be at that 6th spot. 7, I like Indiana. I still like Kurt Signetti. I'm not super high on Josh Hoover. He still needs to show me a little bit something. There's a lot of that turnover talk there. But I know they got Nick Marsh, who's a stud receiver from Michigan State. But still, it's a Signetti team. His track record the past 2 years have shown consistency of winning. So I like Indiana. Number 8, I like this one a lot. Your Big 12 champion, the BYU Cougars, are sitting at number 8. This is interesting because I think overall, the Big 12, it's nothing crazy, not compared to the Big 10, SEC, but they get scrappy sometimes. And BYU in the regular season, they dodged Texas Tech, the only team they lost to twice last year. So the only time they will play them is in the Big 12 championship. And I think, sitting with that loss for so long after they beat you twice the year before, I think these players are hungry. Kalani Sitake, we went down to Provo this summer. It's something in the building. It's just boiling up. They have faith. I really like this BYU team this upcoming year. Number 9, I got Texas. And Texas is an interesting team to me because there's so much hype around this team. You got, obviously, Arch Manning and how he played in the latter end of the season and against Michigan in the Cheez-It Bowl and showed so much promise there. And then the transfers addition with the 2 running backs and Cam Coleman, Colin Simmons running that defense. I think, in general, when you have a team hyped up as much as they are in the preseason, they usually don't pan out incredibly well. But I still have them making the playoff. I think they might lose 1 or 2 here in the regular season, especially early on. I don't think they win that game against Ohio State. I think Ohio State takes that one in week 2. But overall, Texas still has a pretty incredible year, makes the playoff at that 9 spot. And I think this is one of those, there's always a team that is a lower seed, that 8, 9, 10 seed that makes a run. Miami last year, Ohio State the year before that just gets hot at the right time. I think Texas is that team this upcoming year. And then at 10, I got Alabama. And this one was interesting. This one's interesting because I was like, do I put in Bama with the new quarterback? I don't know who it is yet. I really don't know what to expect from this Bama team. But I trust Kalen DeBoer. I really do. And I know a lot of Alabama fans out there, we talked about this, a lot of Alabama fans out there don't love Kalen DeBoer. They're like, how dare he wear a polo or a sweatshirt on the sideline? Like, come on, guys. Let the guy live. He wins you games. Those tight games, Alabama usually comes out on top. So I like Alabama there. 11, I got USC. Lincoln Riley finally gets it done, makes the playoff. Now, USC, this is an interesting team. I've always said this, or been saying this. USC is probably the most intriguing team to me this upcoming year. And they also fall into that category, if not now, when. If you don't make the playoff now, when are you going to do it? This is probably Lincoln Riley's most talented team since he's been there. I'm really a big fan of USC, and I think they're going to put up a lot of points. And really the big question with USC is the defense, and that's why they hired Gary Patterson to really raise the ceiling there. And I think they can get it done. I think that Gary Patterson, and just watching the clips in the spring, and they just started fall camp and have been seeing some stuff trickling out. It's a good, I'm feeling really good about this USC team this upcoming year. And at 12, it's such a guessing game with the G6 guy, but I had to go. I went Boise State again. Last year I went Boise State, but New conference. Pac-12 champs, Boise State. I've been hearing good things about them. Madsen, the quarterback for them, coming back for another year, hopefully to get it done. I think they're going to be the Pac-12 champs, and just to say Pac-12 champs and to mean it, I love to hear it. But there's the graphic right there, ladies and gentlemen. That's what the playoff looks like. But college football fans, I appreciate you sticking with me. I appreciate you subscribing to the channel, liking the video. Leave a comment below. I want to hear your thoughts. But I appreciate you guys watching. This is Off Script. My name's Zak Herbstreit. I'll see you guys soon.